So now we'll see the codes and softwares of the self-balanced robot. First of all, you can see here the name of the company that have built this robot. By the way, this robot is an open source robot, so it's not just made by one company. Anyone can do it or build it and start to sell it. Okay. So for example, the one we have is from this company. Later on, we'll see here another company that's selling it, and there are many on the internet you can check and see. For example, for the one we have, this is the official website. You can check this website. Okay, the for the robot we have. So as you can see, same robot. Here the application we were using on the cell phone. Okay. Uh, Here some description about their company, the features for the robot. Okay. Uh, the package, what does it include? As you can see here, the Arduino. We have mentioned Arduino Uno. The board, which is used for as a voltage regulator, and a place where we can mount our modules, mainly the Bluetooth. Here the MPU, which give us the angle and the acceleration, or and sensing the motion of the robot. And here is the motor drive that power our motors or control them. Arduino cable, the brackets to hold the motors, two DC motors with their encoders, two wheel, okay, battery pack to hold the batteries. For example, here it has two, it can handle two batteries. Our can handle three batteries. Okay, the aluminum plates or sheets that we have for the building the body of the robot. Okay, some screw nuts. Okay, key drivers, connectors. Okay, here their names and the quantity for each one. For the hardware design, they are talking a little bit about the hardware, the battery, the structure they have, the board they have, Arduino Uno. Okay, talking about the self-balance, where it uses 3-axis accelerometer, 3-axis gyroscope. Here is the name of the chip. We have MPU 6050. Okay, two motors. They are calling them stepper motors since they are a DC motor and they have an encoder. So when a DC motor has an encoder, usually we call it, technically we call it servo motor, but here they are calling stepper. It's okay, not a big deal. Okay, so about the wireless control, how the Bluetooth chip here is used to communicate with the robot, okay, from our cell phone. So you can check and read them by yourself, just general statements about how does it work. The kit, okay, so the whole kit was to include how and how it will be. So here some additional information about the electronics components that we have. So starting with the brain, which is the Arduino controller or Arduino board. So an image for it, some talk about it more, and you can check more on the website of the Arduino, okay, if you want. So you can just go online to Google and write Arduino Uno and to get more specs about it. Okay, here about the MPU 6050, talking about it, some, how does it work, some basics. Also, they are mentioning that here we need to use some types of filter with it. So as you can see, mainly the most known one is the Kalman filter. So Kalman filter, it's type of filtering used usually with MPU. Since MPU, in general, not only this one, they they get affected hardly by the noise, environmental noise around it. Okay, so this is why they use some types of Kalman filter. So without filters, the MPU will not, at the beginning it will start working fine, but no, very short it will start to give you some garbage data, not useful at all. Okay, so talking that it can three rotations, for example. Here the X we call it roll, Y the pitch, and Z is the yaw. Here's an image for it. It's really a small chip. يعني السايز تقريبا شي 1.5 سنتيمتر or تقريبا شي 2 سنتيمتر ب 1 سنتيمتر هيك I think أو أكبر بشوي. Okay, here they have some equations. You can check those equations from more technical data sheets about this sensor. Okay, so you can go online, of course, and search more about how does this sensor work and how it feels the motion. Okay, by the way, a small tip: this sensor, no, how it senses, it's mainly based on capacitance. Okay, so it's good to know and to search more about it. Some equations and how they find, how finally the sensor give us the rotation or the angle in each direction. Here is the Bluetooth module. So Bluetooth module is a little bit bigger than the MPU. Okay, so it's around 2 or 3 times than as the size of the MPU. So mainly it's just used for communication with the robot wirelessly. So if you want to communicate with the robot wirelessly, to let it, for example, as I told you, to control its motion from the cell phone to move forward, backward. Okay. Here is the DC. Of course, there is a link here to learn more. It's this link from their, as you can see, from their company, or you can check another links, of course, online on Google. The idea that all these things that we have mentioned before, or components, are all used for development, for developing new projects. So they are really open source. So there is a lot, tons of information you can find online. Okay, so here we have the DC motor. Okay, so here we have a special DC motor. This type of DC motor, for example, as you can see, it's 12 volt. Its voltage is 12 volt, and the RPM is 333 RPM. Okay, so this characterizes the gearbox we have. Here we have the encoders. As you can see, this black circular shape is the encoder. It works mainly on Hall effect. Also, you can check it, which is the magnetic, which is related to the magnetic field. But of course, you can check it. The connector here to connect from the motor, okay, to the Arduino. Here they are talking the rated RPM is 130 RPM. Okay, okay, so it's no. They are talking at the RPM and how you can choose it properly. They are talking about the torque also, torque of the motor. So the motor should have enough torque to move the robot to have a good reaction or good control on the motor. The regulator, it's a voltage regulator. This is the number of the chip that it is used. This here and this chip, okay, اللي حوالي the red box. So this chip is used to regulate the voltage we have. It's mainly a step down chip, or usually we can call it a buck converter, and it can handle 3 ampere as load. Here we can place our motor drive on this slot. Here we can place the MPU, which is the sensor that senses the motion of the robot. And lastly, here we can place the Bluetooth module. Okay, so it is, this chip or this board is mainly designed for this robot. Okay, so it's designed to have a MPU module, motor drive, and the Bluetooth. The connectors here for the motor. Okay, and mainly this board is mounted, can be mounted on the top of the Arduino. So as you can see, Arduino here. Okay, this Arduino. So that board, black board, is mounted on this Arduino board. So the pins here, okay, as you can see, they are all females. So this board gets over that board. Okay, so here the motor drive, the number of the motor drive, you can check it. It is a really very small motor drive, and it works fine. Since we have mainly small motors, they don't have a lot of load on them. So you can check it more. This motor drive can control the direction of the motor. So as you can see, clockwise, counterclockwise. It can stop fastly. Okay, it can control 2 motors, motor A and B, and the PWM frequency can reach 100 Hertz. Okay, so this is the frequency of the PWM, the maximum frequency the PWM we can use. So usually Arduino works on much lower frequency. or no, you can program it, so no acceptable frequency. Okay, so this is about the electronics. Here we have some additional information if you want to check about Arduino, their Uno board, how to download the Arduino IDE. So Arduino IDE is the software we use to program the Arduino board. Okay, some additional information about Arduino, how to install additional libraries for the Arduino to work. So each device here we have mentioned before, mainly for those that have communication with the Arduino, especially the Bluetooth and the MPU 6050. They need to have some special libraries. Okay, we need to include them with the Arduino so they can communicate with the Arduino correctly. Here, if you want to start learning Arduino. So this diagram or this figure shows how we connect the Arduino and the other components. So as I told you, the motor drive is here, Bluetooth here, MPU is here. And the whole board, black board, is mounted on the top of the Arduino. So as you can see from the bottom side, we have the Arduino board, and the black one is inserted or mounted on on the top of the Arduino. Okay. Here some for the assembly of the robot, hardware assembly. So as you can see, the plates, how screws, nuts with the brackets. Then we place the motors with the wheels. Then we start placing our board. Lastly, we place here the top plate, and the power pack for the batteries. We can call it power pack. And then lastly, this is our robot. It's a robot made up of 3 levels. Okay, so first level for the Arduino, or for mainly the board for controlling boards and communication. Second level is for the batteries, and third level if you want to place anything on the top of the robot. Okay, so how does it work? You can see, here they have some general information how this robot works, not technically or engineering wise. No, it's just for general people, for any audience to understand what's going on. Here it's showing you when it's balanced, and when it's tilted this way, for example, it will start moving. Here we have more theory, which is mainly we start to talk about engineering right now. So more theory about the self-balanced, how it works, what makes it stable, what makes it go forward, backward, how to do tuning for the parameters. So as you can see, they are using, for example, PID. Okay, they are mentioning that the MPU 6050 reads the current tilt of the robot, so the feedback comes from this chip. Okay, the PID algorithm calculate what mainly the motors should do to keep the robot balanced. Here, regarding the tuning of the parameters, they can use, for example, here engineers use software like MATLAB. So like us, we are the engineers, so usually we use MATLAB to find the not perfect, but a good start for us to for tuning our system. Since, as you know, in real life we have friction, some parameters we might miss. Okay, so MATLAB gives us a very good start to start tuning our robot. So mainly this is it. Here they are saying how to start tuning the KPKIKD. Okay, so it's like a good way to start tuning your parameters to make your robot start moving correctly. If we place any random values, of course الروبوت ما هيشتغل. أكيد يا ما هيمشي بالمرة, it will not move at all, or it will fall down دغري from the beginning. Okay, more in depth about PID. Here showing how it works. Okay, so lastly here we reach the code program. So here it shows the program we use on the Arduino to program our robots. As you can see, it's all afforded by the company, so they are giving us the folders and all the codes. So by pressing here download, you can see it shows you how to install mainly كل شيء related للرobot. Okay, so step by step, كل شيء included. Okay, so to download them نكبس هون على البلو link. Okay, it gives me the libraries, وعلى هذا link to give me the codes. So if I go here to folder, so this is the folders, بس أعملهم unzip. So here the Osoyo ABC, so I will get this folder, which is the code of the robot, and here it is. Okay, so as you can see, it's a very long software. And in the second folder, unzip this folder, you will see that we have a lot of libraries. All those libraries are used for, as I told you, for example, MPU need a libraries to communicate, something for the I2C, others for the Bluetooth. Okay, so those libraries are all used for the robot to works fine. Usually you can include them by following these steps here. Okay, or another way, which is easier, a tricky way. So I was showing you how to include the libraries. So by going here for the libraries, when you extract the file, okay, you will find those libraries here. By copying them, and you go directly here to the documents on your PC, you will see a folder. It's called Arduino. Of course, you need to have Arduino first, Arduino IDE on your computer. So Arduino libraries, then we paste them here like this. So as you can see here are the libraries I want to use. Okay, so after all, now we are ready to use our code. So as you can see here, here is the code I was talking about. So it's this code is already written from the maker of this robot, and it's mainly used for this robot. So if you want to build, for example, another robot, or buy another robot, or build your own robot, so you cannot use this code directly, just upload it and it will work. No, of course it will need some tuning, mainly for the parameters, for the pins, etc. Lastly is how to control this robot, as I told you, using the cell phone. So for Android devices, you can use this application and find it on the Play Store, okay, Google Play. So just copy this, go to Play Store or Google Play and search for it. You will find this application. This is its icon, and this is how interface looks inside. Okay, so you can just download it and start using it. To connect or start using this device, of course it needs some Bluetooth connection. So it's not hard, for you to do it. You just turn on Bluetooth, search for the device, and start connecting to it and use it. Unfortunately for the iOS, which are the iPhone users or iPad, there is no software that works with this robot. I don't know if another softwares other than this could work fine with it. Honestly, we didn't try to use another softwares. So this is the end for the page. More data sheets, more explanations. Second, we'll see here the robot, as I told you, from another provider. So as you can see, same robot. Here there are some videos showing how videos you can check. أكيد احنا نشوفهم هون together. You can check it by yourself, but please go and check them. Really interesting videos to see. So as you can see here, we have you can check this link. Okay. More of the features, mainly they have the same features, both robots. Okay, I really didn't see any difference. Honestly, we don't have this robot, we have that robot. So honestly here, they can work both the same way. By the way, we have tried to use the codes of this robot on our robot, and they also worked fine. Okay, anyway, so more talk about Bluetooth, some description about it, the application, about tuning, how to use it on PC. Okay, how to do some here they have some additional gesture recognition, some new stuff. Okay, same as you can see, similar board, the MPU, the motor drive, the Bluetooth placed on the top of the Arduino. okay, as you can see, and works fine. Okay, some description about it, how the package come, what does it include, okay, regarding shipping, and if you want to buy it. If you want to get more technical, you can see here the telling about documents, and you can press this link. So by pressing this link, you will go here to this website. This website here shows you about the same robot they have, okay, but in a more, they have made a special page for it, about how does it work, tutorials, how to start with it, everything, okay, step by step, the programming, the battery, how to charge it, to contact them if you want, and to download here the application they are using. So as you can see, it's APK application, so it's an Android application. You can just right click and download. Mainly, I prefer to open it from your mobile, so you can send this link to your device or mobile, the mobile you have, and open this link and download it and start using it. There is something tricky here, that it is this application, since we are not downloading it from the Play Store, okay, so you need to enable something called third-party application on the Android, okay. So search for, okay, go to something called install unknown apps on whatever phone you have. So for example, in our case, we have Huawei here, so I've searched for this phone. If you have Samsung, search for Samsung, LG, whatever phone you have, okay. Mainly, we're talking about Android. For iOS or iPhone, there is no application. Okay, for the codes they have, we can download the codes from here, okay. SCH is more documents about the robot. So if you download it, you will see here some schematic about the robot. Okay, so here the regulator, they have some protections, each module, how it's working, okay, and the Android, and the Arduino, and how they are connected together. So this is, since it's an open source, so it gives you all the schematics if in case you want to duplicate this work, on your behalf. Okay, so mainly this is everything, more instructions, of course, and about the robot. Lastly, we have talked about this robot. We have found here an interesting robot, a person built it. As you can see, you can check this website. So it's making a self-balancing robot, and it's showing everything. This robot, it's a little bit more advanced. As you can see, they have cell phone, okay. Of course, they have some more powerful controllers. They have this microcontrollers, okay. But also he's showing how it's coded. Not same as Arduino coding, but very similar. He's showing some videos for a robot, how it moves, while disturbing the robot, how it's react, okay. And additional feature when it can stop, okay, pause. Here the person here, he included a camera to check the robot where it's moving and see around. And most importantly, he's showing the block diagram and how the robot or the program is working, or the data is flowing inside. So as you can see here, they have the speed, some summation block, PID for the speed. We have inserted here the angle, okay. Then we have PID for the angle, 2 PIDs for each motor. This is a technique to program, okay, the self-balanced robot. Online, you can check or find another block diagrams other than this. Most of them, not all of them works fine, okay. So you need to make sure the one you are checking or the one you're going to use should already be working fine with some others people before wasting your time on use this block diagram. Okay, so here is giving a good explanation and about the robot, so you can really check it. Some codes, you can check الكود ما هيشتغل هو ذات على Arduino, but it's good to have idea how the people are going to write codes for this robots. Mainly your task to build, as I told you, أنه هذا open source code, وhere we have our codes. هذا الأول code our robot, by the way هذا الكود للسكند لهذا الروبوت اللي كنا عم نشوفه هون, okay. So as you can see, they are building their own codes, own robots, وبيعطونا الcodes. So it's good for you to start thinking of building your own code. هلا of course at the beginning ما حنكون نفس professionalism اللي هنا طالعين فيها ونفس efficiency, but انه trust me انه some people before يعني عم بحكي last year واللي قبله mainly other people انه some people did their own robot with their own code و they worked fine. Okay, not perfect like this وبيعمل حركات as you can see بالفيديو, but انه it's a good start انه good for us as engineers to know to build our application so we can feel or appreciate how this coding have, you know, the others have done this or how to build this. Okay, so it's your channel to it's, you know, it's challenge for you to build your own program. Okay, start it simple, controlling just the motor. For example, at the beginning let it stand without, you know, moving. Then you can start make it to start moving forward, backward, right and left, some tuning, and of course you will reach promising results. Okay, so of course about the task, Dr. Hariri will tell you more about it, how to do it, what the tasks are, main required task, and deadline and everything about that. Okay, so thank you. The links, as I told you, please go check them and watch the videos. Self-balanced robot is one of the most important topics. Really, I'm talking seriously in the robotics field. So any robot you are seeing right now that moves on wheels or legged robot, the main controller in it is to keep the robot balanced, or it will fall down and will be useless. You know, ما حيكون روبوت له طعم يكون عم بيوع. لازم يكون إنه really self-balanced before doing any another task. Okay, so thank you. I appreciate if you any ask question, any help. Good luck.